Hey guys, KW here. Quick update, we've been recording a number of episodes ahead of time, but when it came time to edit the episodes, it turned out that we had a bunch of technical difficulties. So, unfortunately, those episodes are lost, and we'll have to re-record them. But we didn't want to leave you without any new episodes, so Holly put together this special episode about friendships, mental health, and boundaries. It's a full 2 hours. Our gift to you. We're planning on being back on our normal release schedule next year. Expect the next episode to be out on January 2nd, 2019, which does not feel weird to say at all. Of course, as always, You Don't Look Like Your Picture is not suitable for minors and is not safe for work. Well, this particular episode isn't too raunchy actually, but maybe don't blast it while you're visiting your grandpappy. I also want to say we do delve into a lot of mental health advice here, and that we are not licensed professionals, therapists, psychiatrists, psychologists, or the like. We're just here untangling this mess along with you guys. Now let's unwrap this episode I like to call My Little Podcast. Friendship is Boundaries.
Welcome to You Don't Look Like Your Picture, a brief glimpse into the void that is online dating. I'm Holly Lowe, and this week I'm in charge, and I'm joined by my lovely friend.
Hello, I'm the mysterious stranger sitting over by your car engine, heating up a pack of frozen hot dogs, hoping that you don't notice. I'm KW Simpson.
And that was beautiful. Oh my god. I love it. You killed that.
I was thinking about that all day, like what I should be saying like that. Anyways.
Okay, that inspires me to do better.
Yeah, this week I'm not in charge. Real quick before we get started, you guys might be wondering why I've been doing episodes not all together. We actually have been, except we've just been having some pretty bad technical difficulties. It can't be helped, so we're actually in the process of just re-recording those episodes and just scheduling restraints. And since Christmas is coming up and there's been the holidays, we're not going to be recording on this Sunday, so we decided we would go ahead and do this little episode for you, and I thought that it would be a great chance for Holly to take it away, so I'm just going to hand this off to her, and I'm kind of going into this blind. So Holly, what do you got for me?
All right, so this episode is kind of near and dear to my heart. I drew from my personal life and what's been going on for this. So without further ado, this week, we will be discussing boundaries and rules, specifically with friends and their relationships/exes. So, like I said, this is a personal topic for me because I'm kind of dealing with this topic in my personal life. So, let's just dive right the fuck on in.
Okay.
So,
we're not going to be mentioning names either, right?
No.
Okay,
absolutely
no name.
not. Yeah,
okay.
No, I'm not that petty.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so, KW, what are some friendship red flags that you consider to be kind of like, that wasn't cool that they did that, maybe I should move on from this friendship, or let me know. Do you have any? I know, it's hard.
I kind of go by the mantra of, well, I kind of don't forgive. Maybe I just forget, not forgive and forget. So maybe that's my problem. I've had relationships in the past where friends have said that, hey, this is not good. This dude is not good for you. You need to stop dating him. And I took that as my friends telling me what to do and trying to control my life. I didn't like that.
Yeah.
That's not a red flag. It's more of just they weren't trying to do that. They were just trying to care about me. They're caring for me. They're trying to stick their neck out, being like, hey, I've noticed this. I'm telling you as a friend, maybe you might want to reconsider your relationship, or maybe actually just talk about it. I think a red flag in a friendship is
hard. Yeah.
It's hard. I don't like the me or them attitude.
Yeah, I agree.
I hate that attitude. It's either me or them. I've known you for this many years, and you've known this person for this many years, and you're going to do that. And fuck, I don't know, you're gonna go Popeyes with them instead of me.
Yeah.
Like, there are certain circumstances in which, like, it really just depends. This is a really tricky subject you put me into.
Yeah, I completely relate with your struggles with this because I never really thought before in my life to look at my friends for having red flags, and recently I've been kind of reevaluating some friendships I've had and whatnot, and red flags, and this is kind of later in my life that I've realized this, but a big red flag I'd say for me is when, like, your friend isn't supportive and puts you down. And this isn't just like relationship kind of thing, but like, you know, if you want to apply for an internship and your friend is really, really, really against it, like, why are they so against your growth and stuff like that, I think are some red flags. But I think we might come back to like labeling red flags in a little bit.
Right.
Because I'd rather kind of just like get into it. So I threw this quote up at the tippy top. It's a Sigmund Freud quote, so take it with a grain of salt. But so the quote: before you diagnose yourself with depression or low self-esteem, first make sure that you are not, in fact, just surrounded by assholes. So I kind of like that.
I like that too,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm not really surrounded by anybody, so I feel like
Oh, great.
Sigmund Freud, I'm sorry, but maybe I do have
Depression.
Maybe just depression.
Maybe it's me.
Maybe it's assholes. Maybe it's depression.
Yeah.
Maybe it's clinical depression.
Or maybe it's a combination of both.
Combination of both. Well, here, even so, like, I can tell what's good for. You can have an opinion. You are allowed to have an opinion, especially in a friendship. And as a friend, you should be able to talk to your friends about your opinion.
Absolutely.
Yes. If your friend is going to be doing something that you see as ill-advised, not wise, and self-deprecating or self-deprecating, self-destructive, it is, you say something about it. However, if it's your opinion just because, excuse me, that you don't like the path that they're going professional-wise, maybe like their aspirations and life goals, like maybe that's something that they think that will make them happy, and it seems like a realistic thing. Like, sometimes people can be like, well, fuck, even if like your friend says like, I want to join the circus, I want to be a trapeze artist,
Yes, is my answer.
Fucking let them fall on their back, let them do it. And as a friend, you are the one who's supposed to like come up to them and pick them up, and if they give up, you help them through it. You don't.
Exactly.
You're not. You don't go and you say, I told you so, this would be a bad idea. You're a partner. For you two are going throughout life together as like partners, and not like in a relation, in like a intimate way, but more like in a, hey, we're both here in this world and we're trying to experience it together.
And we love each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, never apologize. I completely agree with you. And actually, I'm a little sad Shiloh can't be here tonight, because I think you and Shiloh specifically, I've always admired your friendship relationship. I thought you guys have consistently maintained a really healthy and positive and happy, good friendship. And it's something from what I see, I should say.
No. Yeah, you're totally
right.
Okay. Shiloh's not here right now, and I'm not trying to fucking kiss her ass. Shiloh's friendship means the world to me, because she gets me full and through, almost because we're kind of just like
soulmates.
We're not
non-sexual.
We understand each other. We just understand. We get each other's vibes. It's sort of like a twin sister type of thing, or a twin brother type of thing, where it's just we sense what's good for each other, and we sense what's not good for each other. But like, we don't. It's all about being supportive in the end. And like, fuck, whenever Shiloh started ballet, at first I was like, okay, maybe this is kind of a romantic dream that she wants to live out, but who the fuck am I to say anything about it? I wanted to fucking try ice skating, and she's like, yeah, all right. And she came with me to the goddamn ice rink and said that she would like try it out like the first session with me, and then we both quit because it was actually fucking expensive to even try out ice skating or some shit like that. Or like, whenever I wanted to like try skateboarding again, she's like, okay, yeah, I'll go with you to a skate park and we can try it together or something like that. Like that's like being supportive. She's like, she knows maybe it's not going to happen, but she's there.
Seems
Um,
beautiful, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
and this is like a huge thing for me too. And I've had a friend who warned me about like a past toxic relationship, and she just like it was, and I love this friend to death, and she's still one of my very good friends, and she warned me about like a toxic relationship that I was having, and I was trying to make work, and her solution was to cut ties and to you got to get out of it, and that's what she saw as the solution. And I was just like, no, that's not really what I want to do. And then she's like, well, I can't really be supportive of this, and I'm not saying that that's like a bad quality of a friend. She was just in her head, that's what she saw was good for me, and like I wasn't taking her advice, and it was just like, man, all right. And she told me, she's like, okay, well, if you're not, all right, I'm just going to put that aside, and we're just going to be friends, and I'm not going to really pay much attention to that. So, and I'm still really good friends with her nowadays. We still talk, and I'm really excited to see her again. She's been very supportive about my move out here. Shiloh, whenever I okay, so this relationship was toxic because it got physically abusive, and whenever I related this to Shiloh, she listened, and she said, well, what do you want from this relationship? It's just I just want this to work. She's like, okay. And so I would try to tell her my problems, and she would try to offer advice to try to make the relationship end up working out. And she understood, like, if she were in that position, she would have turned around and left, but she tried to help me make it work because that's what I wanted to do. And whenever it ended up crumbling and failing, she stood over my my gaping corpse. Oh God. she stood over me while I was flat on my back on the ground. She picked me up. She's like, let's keep going.
Yeah. And,
like,
sorry.
That's just the kind of support that like me and her have with each other. And I have this kind of support with a lot of my friends, but like,
I think you and Shiloh, genuinely, it's special. Like, whenever I get, and I'm really not just trying to like gas you guys up right now and like kiss your ass, especially since Shiloh's not here, and if she listens to this, she's gonna be like, thanks. But I even asked you guys one time, like, what do you think it is that has made you guys such wonderful roommates and friends for so long? Like, how have you maintained such a healthy relationship? And both of you like thought for a second, and then you were talking about mutual respect, which like is always something that I've thought was a given in relationships, but I'd never really thought about it in the way you guys explained it to me. Like, your mutual respect is like respect when you can tell the other person needs their space, respect the other person when, and like every move and thing you do around each other is based off of mutual respect. And I thought that was really beautiful because it's a lot of times in relationships you just think you're mutually respecting the other person, but in reality, like, sometimes you're respecting yourself in the relationship, if that makes any sense. Like, you know what you would want if you were them, and so you behave in that way rather than really thinking like, okay, so Shiloh looks upset, clearly she needs alone time or something. Right. But other people might think of it like, okay, Shiloh's upset, maybe she needs me to talk to her, and yet you guys have,
and she needs me to take her out, and she needs me to talk to her, and we need to have a girls' night. Buy her shots when
explode her.
What she needs.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of dive into what you were talking about works with this. So, is it ever okay to interfere with a friend's relationship? If yes, when and why? If not, why?
If it is dangerous.
Agreed.
To this person, which is I was talking about this friend earlier who's not Shiloh. She saw that as a sign, and she tried to intervene, and I completely appreciate what she did for me now that I look back on it. She saw it as dangerous, and she was just like, you need to get out of there. And I felt like it kind of hurt her when I was like, no, I'm okay. I can make this work. And she's just like, I can't just like watch you do this to yourself. It's a complicated subject between like me and her, but like I still I think this friend knows who she is, and she does listen to this podcast. And if you are listening,
We love you.
we love you. I love you, and I can't wait to see you again. I really am thankful for this person for having this kind of concern for me, because that's really what should be done whenever you see in a relationship something dangerous is going on. Someone's like appearing with a black eye. Someone's like, someone is literally physically in danger. Emotionally, they've changed their demeanor, and they're just bad all around. And it just takes. You're not going to be their fucking Superman and swoop down and sweep them off their feet and get them out of there unless their life is in danger. That's when you swoop in and you get them out of there.
Absolutely.
That's when
You'll never.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. You go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was going to say you will never be able to help somebody that doesn't want to help themselves, even though it's heartbreaking sometimes. I have a similar experience. You and I weren't as close back when you were dealing with what you were going through. I don't even think we had met each other yet, actually.
Yeah.
But I have a similar instance that happened with a different friend that I was concerned for her safety because of her partner she was with. And at first, I just kind of listened and observed what was going on between the two of them. And then after a little while, I had a conversation with this friend and told her I was concerned about her safety, and if she needed anything, please to let me know. And she had informed me that her best friend at the time wouldn't speak to her because of this toxic, violent relationship she was in. And I don't know, I feel like I need to say this, but if your friend is in a dangerous situation and you're frustrated that they won't leave it, don't cut them out of your life.
No,
that
turn
only
away.
alienates them farther.
Yeah,
and they're less likely to get help, and if you don't provide a safe space for them.
You need to always have that hand for them to reach out and grab.
Exactly, yeah. And you never want to make a person that is in danger like that feel more alone than they are, because then they're way less likely to get out or reach out or whatever. And you're more than allowed to reach out, but don't give them an ultimatum like me or that, like you said earlier.
No, that ultimatum kills all friendships and all relationships. That is a selfish thing to do.
Agreed.
It's very selfish for you to be like, well, it's me or them.
Yes.
And I feel like since you chose them, I feel betrayed.
Exactly. You're not.
Right. In certain circumstances, like if you like fucking, I don't know, if like nuclear bomb was going out and like a stranger was like, it's either your best friend or a stranger. It's, I guess.
Well, that's fine.
That's fine.
Grab your friend.
Grab your friend. It's a different circumstance, but like fucking on a normal basis, but yeah, never do near them. Honestly.
Yeah, that's just a bad situation. And so that was kind of more serious, but I felt like that should be said kind of off the top, because we're going to talk about boundaries and everything, but I did want to kind of point out that there is always an exception to the rule. So if you feel like your friend is in danger, if you feel like you're in danger, it's okay to reach out and all of that. So just kind of off the cuff, that's what this is. I wanted to say that. So the rest of the podcast isn't as serious as life and death. Of course, this is kind of about like friends and how your friends should act around your lovers and how you should act around your friends' lovers, la-di-da, boundaries, pretty much. So, I have a question, KW.
Yeah.
Is it okay to date a friend's ex?
Oh, God.
Tricky, right?
This is tricky because I almost tried to. Well, I almost tried to.
I feel like a lot of people have.
But I did get my friend's permission.
There you go.
And
then it's okay.
Like, Shiloh was like, oh my fucking God, if like he goes for it and he fucks you, like I'm going to fucking laugh. Please please make this work. She like really she really wanted it to happen. She's like, oh my fucking God.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Yeah, so like it was an all around tricky situation. In a general sense, no, I wouldn't say it's a good idea, especially if you guys are like really close. If it's just got a lot of strings attached to it, you just got to be prepared to be adults about it and discuss it. If like this, it depends. If this like boyfriend or something like that is just turned out not to be compatible with you, and you guys left off, and you guys are free, cool as cake, bam, and like your friend ends up having more compatibility with this person than you do, and maybe they may end up making it work. Yeah, but that's like fucking rose-tinted glasses type of situation. Not all situations are like that. I have a feeling that this type of situation is probably not really appropriate.
Well. Actually, okay, so... Okay, disclaimer, a lot of these questions that I wrote kind of came from a place of hurt from me, but the funny thing is, this question, I actually disagree with you.
Okay.
And this is coming from, yes, one of my friends did date my ex. So, okay, and this, just saying, I have one big ex-boyfriend that I would be heartbroken if any of my friends tried to date. And so, like, that, or I wouldn't say tried to date, but if they dated without speaking to me first, I would be heartbroken. But
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, it's all being adults about it. Communication is key here. Not going behind somebody's back, be like, oh, hey, I'm dating your ex.
Exactly.
Yeah, so go ahead.
Okay, so I don't know. Okay, I'll just tell a quick story. So I had a new friend that I had made, and then an ex-boyfriend that I had a wonderful, wonderful relationship with. He treated me so well. I broke up with him just because I felt like our relationship had kind of run its course and I wasn't feeling it so much. And this sounds kind of corny, but it's honestly true. I just respected him a little too much, or not too much. I just wanted him to be in a relationship where he felt like he was getting the reciprocation that I felt he deserved.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think I could offer that to him at the time. So I thought it was time to end the relationship.
Okay.
I maintain that was a good decision.
Yeah.
He and I have stayed friends for a long time, and then a friend met him and she was interested. And one thing I will say, she never asked me how I felt about it, which is something if I'm gonna be honest, I have a little bit of resentment towards, but I honestly was so happy to see two people I liked, seem to make each other happy, and so I was like, you know what, she didn't ask, but I love him and I love her, and they seem to be making each other happy, so it doesn't really matter. And the only time that I started to have a problem with it was when this friend started putting me down in front of my ex-boyfriend, who was still a good friend of mine.
Oh, boy.
And she'd make comments about my weight and things like that, and that's the only time I started to have a problem. And my ex-boyfriend stood up for me, I will say. He called this friend out for... Like, we all went to brunch one time, and I'm going to be honest, I guess I wasn't being 110% honest with my feelings, but I didn't want to ruin anything for them, so I didn't want to, cause a fight, so I was kind of eating my feelings in this situation.
Like I always do.
Preach. And this friend looked at me and was like, wow, Holly, you want to eat my plate too? Or something along those lines.
Ooh,
that kind
bitch, of come on.
Yeah, wasn't the greatest thing, but my ex-boyfriend stood up for me and said, don't talk to her like that, which, dude, you know who you are, I appreciate you. But anyways, so that's kind of a murky situation for me, but honestly, I only really kind of have, lingering hurt feelings with one ex-boyfriend, and other than that, I would love to see all of my ex-boyfriends really happy, and if one of my good friends can make them happy, then fuck yeah, it's great. You get to win. You get your friend happy, you get your ex-boyfriend happy, and you get them both in your life. And I think that's awesome.
Right. That's
but
what
I will
I'm
say,
saying. That's
communicate.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Communicate. Communication is key on that. And yeah, definitely. If it turns, it's just like if you guys don't fit and your friend and this guy fits and your friend's like, hey, is it cool if I do this? And you want to see them happy, then yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So is there ever a situation where it's absolutely not okay, like an ex-husband or that kind of situation?
It's just a lot more strings.
Yeah.
Tons more strings attached to that. If you got to read into it. There have been times where people date friends of people just so like they can get closer to each other in a creeper kind of sense, where like an ex-husband, I don't know, they get divorced and like an ex-husband like dates or starts dating a friend just to get back closer to like this, I don't know, like fucking drama or some shit like that. I think it relates back to that whole rule of dating. It's just a lot more complicated, and it's definitely something you really have to sit down and discuss a little bit, like a good while, before you're really like, okay, all right, well, we're not together, so.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
But if this is like saying if there is no baggage attached, if this person really fucked up your life and like really messed you up and you want to get as far away from this person as possible, I don't know. Your friend,
Not cool.
your friend should be able to understand, to be like, hey, I probably shouldn't be dating this guy because he did this to my friend. And no, I mean, like old dogs, old dogs never change either. So like, fucking, if he's doing that to you and then he ends up doing this to your friend. So yeah. So no, if this person, I don't know what I'm saying.
No. Okay. I'm gonna bounce off of you.
Yeah.
So what you said kind of made me think of like, you know, when you're a teenager and they say if you're not mature enough to talk about a condom, you're not mature enough to talk about sex.
Yeah.
I think that applies in this situation. Like, if you aren't mature enough to talk to your friend about wanting to date their ex, you're not mature enough to date their ex, or, you know, or you're...
Right.
So, and also, I honestly think the only time it's not okay to date a friend's ex is, one, if you haven't communicated with them about how you're feeling and if that you want to be with them, and two, if there's like actual genuine recent hurt, like if it was this friend's ex-husband that cheated on her and stole all her money and left her, don't date them. But,
no, yeah, that's like a telltale given. I'm not sure why your friend would really want to be like, oh man, I'm just so in love with him,
that piece of shit. Okay, so this is a little more silly, this next question. So you and your friend say you guys match with the same person on a dating app. What do you do? Like, say you both discussed it and you're both interested in the person and you've been talking for a while. What do you do? And nobody was there first. You're at the same time. This is like, and I also don't want this question to be misconstrued as like that whole creepy bar thing where they're like, dibs. That's not. It's more like friendship, respect. You know what I mean?
ABC Family Style. Christmas movie. I see what you're doing here.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds...
I'm trying to network.
Are you trying to pitch? You doing an elevator pitch for like a movie here? It's called Heads Are... Oh my god, we just made a fucking pitch. It's like...
Oh my god, let's write this log line out and send it to the studios.
Log line, the title, working title, Heads or Tails.
And the log line is, friends match with the same guy on the dating app from hell. Or whatever.
Or fucking whatever. Okay, I feel like that movie has been made already.
Probably.
This is so tricky for me. I'm gay and I'm alone, so like...
Can I answer as a mostly straight woman and I'm, you know, whatever?
Yeah.
I think it's silly. It doesn't matter if you and your friend match with the same guy. You're allowed to both be beautiful and have a mutual interest. What's not okay is maybe like, once again, it goes back to communication. What's not okay is maybe like being unkind to your friend in this situation or whatever. Like, as long as it depends on what is more important to you, actually. Like, if you really, really, really value the friendship you're in, treat it like you value it, you know, and
right.
Discuss and whatever. So that was just kind of a fluffer question. Everybody, there's no fucking answer. It depends on your friendship, how everything works. Yeah, it just depends.
Has there ever been a Tinder match where you've just been like, oh my god,
he's the one.
He's the one.
No!
And you matched with him too? What are we going to do?
And she's like, he's the one too! Maybe you guys could just be a throuple and all date together. I think that would be kind of beautiful.
That's where polyamory comes in.
Exactly. We all have time to love each other. Mm. Okay, that was a silly question. Tangent breaker. Alright. So, okay, this is a little more serious, and maybe I'm looking for advice, maybe I'm not. So, should you discuss boundaries outright with friends? Like, whenever you realize you're becoming very close with a friend, should you discuss, like, I don't like it when people X, Y, and Z, or, like, should you do that, or should you not? And just, how do you communicate with your friends your boundaries? Do you say it? Do you non-verbally communicate? Should you even have to do that?
You write a fucking constitution. You sit down and you write a document labeling every single, like, technical we as friends from this point on we will not do this
and drink the blood of our
and
enemies.
Drink the blood of our enemies, and we will make a blood pact, and we will make this signature, and so sign the contract.
In your blood.
In your blood.
No. In my blood, actually. I changed my mind.
It just depends. Like life, it's situational. Like the way that me and Shiloh have been working out, it's just we kind of understand each other and understand what's cool and what's not, and we talk a lot, and we kind of get vibes from each other as to what would be cool. And if we're unsure about what would be cool with each other, we ask. We're communicative. Excuse me.
So, sorry, this may be a bit of a personal question, and feel free to not answer if it is, but okay. Have you or Shiloh ever crossed a boundary with each other? And if so, how did you deal with it?
Me and my asshole do not wish to discuss this question.
Okay.
No,
I understand.
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I was like, all right, so what?
No, like, even so, like, there was this, here we go. This guy's probably listening to this podcast. He's probably It's probably gonna be like, oh, he talked about me. Maybe Shiloh's still interested. As if,
Oh no.
I think you know who this is.
What? Oh yeah, I do.
Okay. There is this guy who I knew from high school that I had a crush on, and who came back into my life saying that I had a crush on my friend. And at first, we were trying to like mess around with him. I was like, fuck. I felt like it was shitty for him to be like using me in order to get with my friend. Mm-hmm. Like knowing that I had a crush on this guy, he was using that to his advantage in order to get with the girl. So Shiloh, he ends up getting Shiloh's contact info, and they talk, and they end up actually kind of working out, sort of. And then they talk for about like a year, and I think we've talked about this in the podcast before. So that was kind of a difficult time. But during the entire time, that wasn't a boundary that was crossed. That was just kind of like something that I saw that like Shiloh was, like she was enjoying herself. She was happy. She was having a guy to talk to, and it was she was enjoying her time at the time. And whenever he actually came around, she's like, "Oh fuck, no, thank you." So it was tough. It was tough, but I was just like, all right. I mean, for other people, that would just kind of be like, "You fucking suck. You knew I had a crush on him, and now you're just going to date him. Like, what kind of friend are you?" Now I was like, "No, man. All right. Like, if this is what you want." I think a boundary would be like maybe someone you have a lot of attachment to, I guess. If like if I don't know, if fucking Shiloh dated the boyfriend that I had, that I was in a relationship for like 3 years, just out of the blue, and I found that out, I don't even know what I would.
Yeah,
it kind of be heartbreaking. I'd be like, well, why?
She would never do that, though.
I think my first.
Well, you know that. I don't have to tell you that.
Right. I think my first question would be like, why?
Yeah.
And if she's like, well, because I just want to, and I really like.
Oh wait. What if she said, when you asked why? What if she said, "I just wasn't thinking"?
Or no, I just wasn't.
No, that's a serious question. Yeah. Her response when you're like, "Why would you do that to me?" "I just wasn't thinking." That's your answer.
That happens. That does happen. Like, it's animalistic sometimes. Especially when it comes to sex. There have been times where, like, I've had a guy in the room and, like, I've had a guy in a room, and like I tell myself like I'm not just going to have sex with a stranger that I just met for the first time, and then I end up having sex with a stranger that I met for the first time, just because like it's just animalistic. He's like, I wasn't thinking, and I just went for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. This is more of a general question. What are just some boundaries you place on your friends or anything? This doesn't have to be anything like crazy personal. Like, I'll give an example. A boundary I have with my friends would be I'm very protective of my alone time. And if I haven't responded or whatever to you in like 30 minutes, a boundary that I have vocalized this to a lot of people because I understand this is a personal thing, but I don't appreciate when people quote blow up my phone when I'm trying to have my alone time, which and I guess that kind of sounds like masturbating, but by alone time, I mean like I sometimes I like to read or go on walks and
I don't want to
turn
be
my
bothered.
phone on. Yeah, you just need you time. It's like how I meditate and everything. So that would be a boundary I place. Like I don't like excessive attempts to contact me. Do you have a boundary or anything you can think of?
My boundary is I don't want to hear you guys have sex.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Which it's happened before with Shiloh, and she's apologized.
I thought you'd be like, she's a screamer. Sorry.
Well, she's not a screamer, but you can hear her. And then I just left the house, but like she understands that boundary, and so she doesn't bring guys home just because of that, I think.
It's nice.
Whereas I don't think that she minds if she hears, because she hasn't been vocal about it, but like I've brought guys home, but I'm oh boy, TMI alert, I'm pretty quiet.
No, that's not a gross TMI. That's a good one. Well, not a good one, but you know what I mean.
Or at least I know how to
regulate.
Put my hand over my mouth or something like that.
Exactly. Respect your roommates.
Respect your roommates. Yeah, that's a boundary that I put. Okay. Another boundary I think would just be don't walk around the house naked.
Fair.
Which Shiloh doesn't do. And I don't do.
They're gonna be like, which Shiloh fucking does, and it's like, well, good for her. She has an amazing body.
Well, yeah, she would do it anyway. If we were all like girls, and she probably just would do that. And I know that we had another roommate who used to do that too. But she respected my boundaries, and she would just like wear like underwear, and I was totally fine with it.
KW, oh my god, I just realized I crossed that boundary. I wasn't naked. But I definitely walked around wearing no pants when we were in LA together.
Oh, fuck. I don't even
Should
care.
I apologize for that?
No, I mean...
No, that's a genuine question. If I do need to, it's okay.
No, like...
That's okay. You can
I don't know if I actually really care too much. I think it's just been implanted in me where if I see somebody naked that, like, I know, I'm like, ah! And then I turn my eyes away. And you just immediately do that because it's just a childish sense. But if I think about it, I don't really care because I have seen you too without tops on, and I'm just like, why do I care? Like so much about this.
I forgot about that.
I remember that.
Well, no, if it's a boundary you have.
Like looked, and I'm like, it's just their chest. I don't understand why. I like freak out whenever they say that they're gonna get naked.
Okay.
I think it's with guys, maybe with like guy roommates.
Yeah, I can see that.
Maybe. I don't know.
I had a roommate that used to always be nude. And at first it was kind of a shocker for me. And then I just got so used to it. I wouldn't even notice she was naked. And then it kind of bled onto me. And so I would like to apologize to you for walking around without my pants on.
Really? No,
but
for apologies. I don't care.
Well, okay, disclaimer, everybody listening. I go to a therapist. And I've been trying to work through some issues I have personally, and learning how to, conduct myself in a way that I want people to conduct themselves to me. So I would like, my boundaries respected and whatnot. So I would also love to respect your boundaries. So if I cross that boundary, my apologies. And that sounded sarcastic, but it wasn't.
No. Yeah, I understand.
Okay. Well, so that kind of brings it over to this, which have you ever had a quote breakup with a friend who crossed boundaries with you that were just unacceptable. And if not, it's fine.
Trying to think. I can't remember why we had a falling out. You knew him. I'm gonna bleep his name out.
Okay. Oh yeah.
I don't remember why we fell out. I think like he just like
He was mean to you.
he was mean to us, and
Yeah, I
like
remember.
he would like insult us. He would like say like we were nothing but common whores or something like that, and
He called you Jimbles, which I could always tell you hated.
Which like he could tell that I hate and like stuff, and like he would if I got mad about something, he wouldn't apologize. He would just be like, you just need to get over yourself, and then like he even asked me for nudes one time.
What?
Yeah, for his birthday.
I just choked on air.
Yeah, and I gave it to him because I felt like I don't know, he kind of pressured me into it.
Did you want to at all, or was it like,
No.
I feel like I have to?
I was more like, I just want him to leave me alone about this. So I did.
Makes me sad.
So like, I don't know what boundaries really crossed. It was just a bunch of things that end up leading us to fall out. Maybe something really big happened. I'd have to ask Shiloh. Shiloh holds grudges and she fucking remembers. I don't. She doesn't forgive and forget. She fucking she sits there and she fucking grills until she explodes. I, for one, just forget. I don't even forgive. I just forget. And I think I've forgotten about this.
So may I say some boundaries that, from an outside perspective, it sounds like this person crossed?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Well, it sounded like he didn't respect you guys. I'm not saying he didn't respect you at all, but he didn't respect whenever, you didn't want to be called a certain thing or whatnot. So that's, to me, a boundary that he crossed.
Yeah.
Two, I don't know how to word this one, but it he definitely crossed a boundary when it comes to, sex. He definitely crossed a sex boundary
he always talked about that too. And he would always talk about that, and he didn't care about the shit that I was talking about. So I was sometimes I geek out and I talk about video games or I talk about this.
It's fucking awesome.
And he wouldn't even he would have a blank face the entire time and be like, all right. Well, I bought a new hat from New York the other day. I'm
on point though. True.
Really?
Yeah, he would do that.
Come on, man. Can I just be happy? Can you just be happy for me? Maybe? I know you don't like the shit that I do. Even Shiloh herself, which I don't grill her too much about this, and I understand. As a friend, I understand she doesn't care. But if I'm talking about something that I'm excited about, she's like, "Oh, really? Oh, wow."
I've literally heard her say that so many times to me.
In a pretend way, she's like, "No fucking way," and I'm like,
"Cool."
It's oh, cool. And we're oh, Shiloh, I can totally tell you don't care.
Yeah, those are the Shiloh I don't give a fuck sounds. That's so fucking
But she's
funny.
trying. The thing is that she's trying to respect and care about the stuff that you do. So
yeah, that's so funny though. I've heard her say that so many times. I'm like, okay, I get it. Not interesting. That's so fucking funny.
Right.
Okay, so this is a little bit of a toxic. I don't want to say masculinity because women and men and non-binary, we all do this. So there's that disgusting cliche saying bros before hoes or love is a battlefield. There's the two completely separate but coexisting entities that we hear a lot in modern society.
Mm-hmm.
So are either of those mindsets acceptable? Are neither of them acceptable? And if we take away the bros before hoes, if we just say friendships before romantic relationships or love is a battlefield. So do you ever think, I don't know how to phrase this question actually. I wrote it down and now I'm like, what am I actually asking here?
Do you think those are valid?
Yeah, I guess is pretty much. Are either of those valid? Is it neither? Is it both? Is there a time and a place for each question or statement, I guess?
I
What
don't
do you
think
think?
I don't think those phrases are realistic. uh,
Agreed.
To be kind of honest, bros before hoes. Like, I understand friendship is you've known a friend for like so many years, and then this person like da 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 da. But it really comes down to like caring about each other, like caring about like, hey, I met this person that I really like, and if like I don't know what's like a situation where like a bros before hoes would be said
Hmm. It's good. Like from a female standpoint or from a male, or like does it
from
matter?
either from like
Okay,
if
okay.
like a romantic partner stood in the way of a friendship. A friendship
So,
should that shouldn't happen. First off, that romantic relationship, you're not communicating very well with this person, and they're not understanding of what your wants and needs are, and your friends need to be understanding of what your wants and needs are, and everything needs to be symbiotic. Honestly, but you need to get your life in a symbiotic balance.
yeah,
There shouldn't be like a, oh well, I love my friends and I love the
Johnny. Yeah.
right,
Okay,
like
I completely agree with you, actually. It's bros and hoes, not
yeah,
one or the other. That's
right.
beautiful.
And so I've had like I've had a boyfriend in the past where he's had friends who don't want me hanging out, or he doesn't want me hanging out with him while he's around them because they wouldn't want me around or some shit like that. And like that doesn't feel good. That's like, I don't want you to be a part of that life.
No, I don't.
Maybe that's like a boundary that he has, and maybe he should be with somebody who would respect that boundary, I guess. It's just it's
Mm,
preference.
see, okay, when it comes to that, and this is, coming from a personal place. So if I
Okay.
love a person either romantically or like as a friend, maybe I've never considered myself to be a romantic per se, but my therapist actually pointed out that I have romantic ideals of people. So I want, if I'm having a relationship, like a romantic relationship with someone, I want them to be heavily involved with the rest of my life. Like I want them to know all my friends and be a part of my family and blah blah blah
Mm-hmm.
blah. So going back to red flag, well, I guess it's more of a relationship red flag rather than a friendship one. But and this is purely for me. I can't say this for anybody else, but to me, if a romantic partner wants to keep me separate from my friends or from their friends or their family, I kind of consider that to be a red flag. And I would probably say the same thing of friendship actually. Like
Oh
if I
yeah.
had a friend and they don't want me to meet their boyfriend or like really really don't want me to meet anybody in their family or whatever, I would kind of consider that a red flag because like I mean I'm really special, or I'm not special, but I have a really special family, I guess, because my family's fucking awesome and everybody and it's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
And like I love my brothers, I love my sister, I love my niece, my in-laws and my mom and all of that. And so like to me it's a form of intimacy being able to share that with friends and or romantic partners and whatnot. And
Yeah.
so, but of course it's a personal thing. Other people have like traumatic family lives or situations that this of course isn't an all in all, but it's kind of it's kind of my take on that. I don't
Right.
how do you does that is that something that you think about, or do you like to keep things separate, or
If I were to, my ideal romantic partner would be somebody that it would be a partner. It would be like somebody that I had a friendship with, but it would be on a level where we would have trust in each other, and we would like understand the ins and outs of each other, and
mm-hmm.
we wouldn't, there wouldn't be secrets. There wouldn't be, there would be ample communication, and we would be able to, and a part of that is just like knowing each other's like family and friends and like friend circle. Even like if we don't like a friend, we understand that that's our romantic partner's friend, and we accept that. And maybe we don't want to hang out with them, and sometimes if they want to go hang out with each other, that's fine.
Good point.
um
Good point.
but like a good, I don't know,
Have you ever had a romantic partner where you really, really disliked a certain friend of theirs? So I can say I have, but I was also jealous. To be
Right.
honest, I was straight up jealous, and it was like a male on male thing, and or
Mhm.
not. Okay, that it it was like a man and his best friend, and I was also 16, and I was jealous because I thought. I don't even know what I thought. I was just jealous, and there's really no way around it. And that's the only time I've been like, "Fuck that guy."
Maybe
you
they were
know?
just close to each other and like you
Oh,
wanted
they
to be
totally
that
were.
close.
Yeah, they were best fucking friends, and
Yeah.
like at the time I couldn't admit it to myself, but like I knew that this friend would be in his life way longer than I was,
Right.
and I wasn't mature enough to recognize that. But
Like
that, yeah,
maybe
that
you
was the
just
time.
maybe you just wanted that type of relationship with him. You wanted to have that type of like intimacy. Not
Yeah,
intimacy, but like that type of like
no, it is intimacy. Yeah,
yeah.
it's exactly what I wanted, and you're
And,
completely right. Yeah. Well,
um I don't know what else to add to this,
okay,
honestly.
let's move on.
Okay.
So this is kind of diving a little more into my personal issues, which I'm really glad we've deviated from.
Hmm.
Because I think I started this with like a coming from a hurt place, and it kind of evolved into more of like, you know what? I need to just discuss boundary. Okay, whatever. So, romantically competitive friends. Do you understand what that term is supposed to mean, or should I explain?
Can you explain that? Because I'm
Of
not really
course.
sure what that means.
Yeah, I was trying to Google this and I couldn't find the word, so let me just. So, like a friendship where you consider yourself to be close with your friend, but whenever it comes to dating, they always seem to have a competitive nature with you. Like, say, actually, I'm going to use my sister's personal experience because I talked to my sister a lot about this today. So, my sister had a best friend in high school who would consciously, and I was there for all this and I saw it, would consciously and like 100% on purpose try to date any guy that showed interest in my sister. And she
Oh
would try,
boy.
yeah, like ex-boyfriends, she would go after every single one of them. If my sister was like in a relationship with a guy, this girl would try to interfere. And my sister and I, who are really close, actually got in a fight about this when I was like 14 and she was like 18 and was like, she's a bitch. I don't like the way she treats you and blah, blah, blah. Which is kind of funny to think of a 14-year-old being like, no! But so that's how I felt about my sister's friend. Because I didn't trust her and I thought she was romantically competitive with my sister. And to the point where because my sister took me everywhere with her when we were younger, even though we had a bit of an age difference, and I called her friend out. My little 14-year-old loudmouth was like, why the fuck do you always try to steal my sister's boyfriends and stuff? And this girl's response was, I wanted to prove to myself and to you that I can get any guy you can. And so that's kind of what I consider romantic competition, when it's not so much about the person, but more about, like, I can do anything you can. You
She
understand?
has issues that she needs to examine in herself because she does not have self-confidence. She is that is a total red flag of somebody who does not have self-confidence. And
Being
like if
friendship red flag. Sorry.
big friendship red flag, if like some like if a pair she admired your sister, and maybe she was jealous of the fact that these guys were into her, and so she's like, I gotta get this guy because if he can be into me, if he's into her and he's into me, then that means that I'm on her level, and like it was a competitive thing, and like that's a self-confidence, and that's a self-confidence issue. It's
Yeah.
it's not like a
So
it's not an okay thing. It's something that needs to be worked on.
would you consider that jealousy, or is that something different than jealousy?
I think it's something different than jealousy. It could be jealousy. Yeah, it's probably jealousy because like she has to feel, maybe it's not jealousy. Maybe it's like she has to feel like she is worthy in order to feel good about herself.
Okay. Yeah.
I think it goes more beyond jealousy, because it's not like I want what she has. It's more like I have to prove to myself that I can be on that level.
Okay. Oh my god, that was beautifully put.
Yeah.
And really quick, I just want to say, my sister is a stone cold fox, and so it makes sense that people would be jealous of her. She listens, so I kind of want to
Oh,
gaslight my beautiful
hey.
sister.
How's
Yeah.
it going?
Hi, Casey. I love you.
Hi,
Okay.
Casey.
And hi, Finley, my
Hi,
baby niece
Finley.
that I just thought I would name drop because she's super cute. Anyway, okay.
Does she
nothing
listen
to do
to the
with that.
podcast too?
Yes, my 4-month-old baby niece
Oh,
is
no.
an avid listener. She loves it. Please, Finley, don't listen to this.
Oh,
This is
no.
your aunt speaking. Don't.
God.
Anyways, sorry.
Hey,
I
you
had
wanna
to
hear-
gas up my sister since I used her as an example with her high school best friend. But
Okay.
so you're saying it's coming from like a deeper place, like a sense of worthlessness, for lack of a better word. So do you think in that situation, because my sister and this friend of hers aren't friends anymore, so
Right.
do you think my sister should have maybe been more understanding of that, or do you think it was good of her to cut off that friendship? Or not good, but right. Do you owe this
I
to your
think
friend?
you should be able, if you want to maintain a friendship, you should be able to maintain communication, because that's key. It's key to any type of relationship. I think the most, what do they call it? The idealistic situation here would be sitting down with this person and being like, hey, I'm noticing this in you and I'm seeing this as a problem. And as a friend, I really want to reach out to you and I want to say that I feel really splitting us apart. And so I'm willing to help work out with this with you if you're willing to maybe realize that. Maybe and a lot of times these people are like, no, you don't understand me. What the fuck? You can't read me like a fucking book. And yeah, sometimes you just split with these people until they can realize that, yeah, these are the problems that they have. And then if they realize it, they can either come back to you and be like, hey, yeah, you're right. Or like, they can be like, they can go their own way and just be that way for the rest of their life. It was probably good for her to just kind of split, but like maybe like leaving that ultimatum is kind of the idealistic thing that I would do. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to feel like I'm always right though.
Same.
Right.
Yeah. That's some really good points, actually, because personal tidbit, I actually never really thought about like worthiness in relationships or anything until a friend of mine's wedding. And I'd been in high school with this girl. Actually, you know her, I think.
Ooh.
Can we bleep the name?
Yeah, let's put the name.
Do you know her? She went to UConn for a short amount of time.
I think I might know her. Yeah.
Her new name is. Yeah.
Yep,
Bleak,
I
bleak,
know
bleak.
her.
Okay. So, I mean, she's a stunningly beautiful woman, very talented and everything. And yet she would always kind of date men that didn't treat her very well. And like, as a friend, you don't. I mean, I would always be like, you don't deserve to be treated. Oh shit. Oh, what's her name again?
Timestamp 10942.
Thank you. Okay, friend, you don't deserve to be treated like this, blah, blah, blah. And, like, you can scream until you're blue in the face at your friend about how they deserve to be treated. But at her wedding, this is a happy story, in her vows, which I never listen to vows at wedding. I find them mind-numbingly boring. But this one, like, she said to her husband, for the first time in my life, I feel worthy of love thanks to you. And that always, like, it just really hit me to the point that I drunkenly told them one time, and was like, you guys maybe realize that I deserve to be loved. I'm worthy of love. And they were like, okay. But I don't even know where I'm going with that, but...
You want to know what I think?
Yes, please. Save me.
I don't think you need another person to know that you are worthy of love.
You're right.
You need to know that yourself.
That.
It is very hard to do that. But like it's a chakra point that you have to break. It's one of the seals that you have to break in order to reach enlightenment, to know that you are a good person and that you are worthy of love, and not have it sound cheesy to you and just have you say that to yourself and believe it. You need to believe it instead of just instead of Instagram fucking caption type of fake
Yeah.
bullshit, living
Yeah.
my best life type stuff. It's really something that you like do on your own personal level
Yeah. Yeah.
and believe in it, because like that's dependency. That brings on dependency in relationships, which is something that's not good. Because
Amazing point. Wow.
yeah, because I've been through that. I felt like I wasn't attractive throughout high school, and then like the varsity soccer jock that I had a crush on for all throughout high school said that he had a crush on me, and then like that like blew my mind open, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm I feel beautiful because this person is into me, and he made me feel like I was attractive and like
Worthy.
and worthy. He kept telling me like, oh my god, I think you're really. I remember at the end of the relationship when we sat down and we talked, and he was like, I was just and he did apologize for everything that he did. And we still keep in touch today, and he's doing very well. I put the past behind me, and I'm glad that we still keep in touch together. And he's still a really good guy. But he said he would do the things that he did because he said he was just really into me, and that was like something that I felt like fueled me. Like it fueled my self confidence, and that's not good. That's not a proper. That's not a volatile fuel. That's fossil fuel right there. That's not fucking. That's gonna bring down your ozone layer
Yeah.
pretty quickly. And that having that validation is almost like having Instagram validation or having Facebook validation. You're getting validation from somebody. It's like you're getting permission from somebody to feel beautiful about yourself or feel important or feel like you are valid.
Oh
And
my god.
that's
Yeah.
not something that's not healthy. And I've learned that based from that relationship.
KW, that was actually profound to me. I don't know if you. I know you weren't like intentionally trying to blow my fucking brains out, but wow. Yeah.
It came from experience.
That's totally what it is. It's asking
Yeah.
permission to feel good about yourself and feel beautiful. Oh my god. Can I pay you to be my second therapist?
I mean, I'm not licensed. We put it. I record like something where I'm not. I say that I'm not a licensed therapist or a sexologist, but like, no, it's
No,
really
you're good
just
at that.
it's all just about life experiences and just like what you've gone through. And I don't claim to know everything. I don't know everything.
No,
I'm
of
still
course not.
learning. And like you've taught me stuff, Shiloh's taught me stuff, and us three together, we teach each other things. And people out there who are listening, they feel like
Learn
they
from
can
my
connect with us too.
Yeah. That was really, really beautiful though. If we can, I would like to make that like a pull quote or something from this, because that was beautiful. Good job.
Yeah, go
Uh,
for it.
yeah, I'm probably gonna make a little. I need a picture of you. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah,
Okay.
you got the account info, you got the Instagram handle, so
Yeah, beautiful. KW, can we put in some clapping for that? 'Cause I would love
fuck
to.
you. I gotta edit this.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Wow. Thank you for that. Really.
No problem, no
I'm gonna
problem.
mention that to my therapist next week.
Yeah.
Like, my friend woke my ass up. Okay, bouncing off that. Okay, so have you ever had a friend put you down? And by put you down, I mean like they're not. No, I guess it is overt rudeness, but when you can kind of tell it's coming from a place of their insecurity, and they kind of put you down in a way, like the example I gave earlier. Like, I was with my friend and my ex-boyfriend who were starting to date, and she put me down by making fun of the amount of food I was eating. Which, I honestly don't really hold it against her, which might sound strange, but I kind of understand, because I was in a strange position, but so is she, like, she was interested in a guy that her friend had previously dated, and now, boom, all of a sudden she's at brunch with said friend and her ex-boyfriend who she's into. So, I mean, it wasn't nice. It wasn't nice, and it really, really hurt my feelings, but I think the reason I wasn't angry is because I kind of understood why that comment happened. But has that ever happened to you or anything?
I'm kind of confused about the question. Can you
Good point.
sorry, can you give me a log line of like what the question is?
So, say you and I are out, and there's a really, really attractive guy out that you and I are both interested in. Say we're standing there talking to him, and I was to be like, I'm trying to think of say I was like, yeah, well, I'm not as tall as KW, or like some sort of like subtle dig at you. That was kind of more of like a
the fucking goddamn Disney movie bullshit. Like,
yes, exactly.
Like,
exactly.
So how's your HPV going? Did you get your medication? Like in front of them, like trying to like do the whole fucking Mean Girls bullshit dance. First off, I can't believe that still happens. We're 25. I don't know. Holly, are you 25?
In December, on December 30th.
How am I older than you? Jeez, why am I feel?
Am I old? Do I seem old?
No, I feel like I'm still like. I still feel like I'm like 19. No, you're old.
no, I was gonna say, no, you're very mature. I don't know if you recognize that in yourself, but I've always found you to be a mature person. Damn it, stop laughing at me! Damn it! You're not old! You're months older than me. If I call you old, I'm old! Stop it!
Sorry.
No! Oh my god, was that a subtle put down? Did I just do that to you?
No. It's so funny.
It's like, oh so shit, funny. You guys, it's me! I'm the problem!
No. Oh, Shiloh would laugh too. Shiloh would.
Shiloh, where are you? Where are you?
Shiloh
I need you here.
Shiloh does these things. She does these like bitchy moments. Where she doesn't like realize what she said was like super bitchy. She knows it was on accident. Yeah. You remember?
I've been the receiving end, but it's always funny.
Yeah.
That's the
so
funny. Yeah, it's hilarious. And that's why you're like, I'm not even fucking mad. That was so fucking funny.
No, right. You pretty much just did that. And I'm like, sorry. I thought, no, don't even be sorry. It's fucking hilarious. It's a fucking read. It's like, no, I feel like I'm 19. You're just like, no.
No, sweetie, no.
Okay.
Oh my god, okay, sorry.
What was the... Okay, first off, Mean Girls bullshit.
Yeah, subtle put downs.
That. Subtle put downs. First off, she's obviously has some self-confidence issues as to, oh my god, I'm going to lose this guy to her. Apparently that's still like a fear or something like that. And it's subtle, but it's there. Why would she say that unless like that's what's on her mind? Why can't you guys just have like a civil brunch where you guys just like fucking eat and shit? I mean, do you sit down and normally like comment on people's weights while they eat their food? Like, what the hell? Or like, I don't know. I do this with Shiloh though, just because like it's more, we understand each other.
Yeah.
And like we understand like boundaries and shit like that. Like I wouldn't make fun of like
her ballet technique. What would upset you?
No,
her photography?
I don't know. Something
you can't make fun of hers though. It's fucking
good. Putting her down as a woman, I think like would upset her. Or like making her feel inferior.
Okay. Yeah.
About like something that she's kind of sensitive to, I guess. But like I know what she's sensitive to, and I think I automatically know. Like I can't even recall, like even if I tried to, I couldn't be like, oh, I know this would like put her down, so I'm gonna say it, because I can't even like fucking think about that. But like,
okay,
I know for a fact that when she fucking eats, she stuffs her fucking face like a fucking chipmunk, and I make fun of her for like all the time.
She eats quickly.
She does.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen her eat sushi?
Actually, no. I've never had that pleasure, but now I fucking want to.
We need to go to like a sushi place whenever you come down here to LA.
Oh my god, please, can we? I would die. I want to watch it.
She's just like, she takes it, she fucking drowns it in spicy mayonnaise.
Yes, queen.
And then she stuffs the entire roll in her face like a fucking chipmunk, and there's like spicy mayonnaise dripping down her face. And it's the funniest thing ever. And I don't even think she's like aware of it. And she says it herself. She's like, no, yeah, I eat like somebody's about to take my food away from me.
And you know the funniest fucking thing about that is that she's like, this has nothing to do with weight. It has to do with height. She's so physically small that I just picture like her cheeks puffing out like a cartoon and stuff. You know,
No.
I
Oh,
just picture it to be
it
so
definitely
cute.
does that. It does that. It's so funny.
Yes. Oh my god. Okay, if we don't get sushi when I come to visit, I'm gonna be outright angry.
Right.
Okay, so that question was clearly very personal
Mhm.
and was me being like, give me advice about what to do.
Just I don't know.
May I make a quick disclaimer?
Sure.
And podcast listeners, I apologize for making my problems yours, but I've been a little sensitive about my weight recently. I've never really struggled with weight until recently, and this friend knew that. And so I don't think I would have held this so dear to my heart about about being upset if it wasn't something that she knew and I knew that I was really sensitive about.
And I think that's why it really hurt you.
Yeah.
And that is just a bitchy thing for somebody. It's just not cool to do. You
Yeah.
know that was a sensitive point and you joked about it, and like you know that you've been upfront, you know you're sensitive about the weight that you're putting on, and like and she like you trusted her not to like
It broke me from the inside, yes.
yeah.
It broke me on the inside.
You
Everybody
trusted her not to make fun of you to do. You trusted her not to make fun of you for it, and she broke your trust.
Yeah. Which actually, conveniently, leads into my next topic. So, trust.
Yeah, here we go.
So, how do you deem a person worthy of your trust? Do you deem a person, or do you inherently trust? Like, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Guilty
Sorry,
or
I'm
not
just
guilty?
thinking. Life is just a risk, honestly.
Okay.
If you go throughout it worried about who you're going to trust and who you're not going to trust, you're going to drive yourself crazy and drive yourself off the wall. And if you're
Trust.
if you're 100% open about like yourself, you will find that you feel a lot more free. That's how I
Yeah.
kind of live my life. And I guess maybe there have been times where that's people don't really like hearing about my mental health issues. That ends up ruining my date. But like,
Preach.
but no, I'm open about it and I feel free because I'm able to be like, I don't have to hold this in as a secret. And so for trust, if you find like a friend and you have like, you feel like you're connecting with this person, um, yeah, over time you'll start building something, and like a connection is a mixture, I think, of trust and of many other factors. It's not just like trust itself. I think that's just a factor of like building a friendship with somebody.
Yeah. So, your philosophy is somewhat trust until untrustworthy? Or proven untrustworthy?
Yep, I think so. I think it's like
That's a good way to do it, yeah.
if this person yeah, I live my life trying to think of the best in people. I'm still skeptic about like day one strangers trying to get to know me like fucking in and out, like shit like that, or
Mm-hmm.
trying to get into my guts. Like no, but like over time, and we start to develop like something where I feel like a symbiotic type of connection. Yeah, that trust is trust. I feel trust is more natural than like people are trying to make it out to be like something that's
Yeah.
synthetic.
Yeah. So, okay, this is another personal tidbit. So, I live my life the same way as you. I trust until proven untrustworthy. But what do you do whenever somebody, like, proves themselves untrustworthy? Do you get angry? Do you say nothing? Do you move on? What, what do you do?
You communicate it.
Communicate?
You got to communicate it. You can't not say something about it
What if
because
you,
it affected you.
yeah. what if you were met with outright contempt? And, like, maybe contempt isn't the right word, but what if you and said person that has lost your trust are on completely different pages and they can't see the side of the argument from your side, if that makes sense. Also, you don't have to solve my personal problems. I apologize.
Right. No, I'm thinking it's just a factor of, did this person hurt you?
Yes.
Okay. You need to walk up to this person and say to her clearly, I feel hurt because of what you said. And simple as that. And if she's like, oh, well, you need to get over it. And I'm like, well, I haven't really communicated this to you because I've been trying to get over it. But this is something that's really bothering me. And I feel if I want to continue a relationship with you, this is something that we need to discuss.
So this is probably so specific, but so say your friend is accepting that they hurt you and understanding that they hurt you, but they're still not understanding why. Like, you're trying to explain, like, you hurt me because of X, Y, and Z, and they're like, no, I didn't, but I understand that I hurt you. And I apologize for hurting you, even though I don't agree. Is anybody in the wrong in that situation? Or is nobody in the wrong and it's a miscommunication? Like,
maybe now she's not going to understand. Maybe given time, it's just something that she has to reflect and meditate over. Mm-hmm. And just something that she has to be like, maybe she'll, like, in the middle of the night, she'll be like, oh, fuck, wait.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Now that I think about it, I really did. This was kind of shitty. And I've had people, you know what? I've had people in the past where I've gone up to them and I've said, hey, this isn't cool what you did to me. And I really wish you didn't do, like you hurt me. And I don't appreciate it. And then they say, well, you need to get over yourself. And then they come fucking 4 years later and then they come back and be like, hey, I know we've been out of touch for so long, but this has really been bothering me. I just want to apologize for my behavior. I felt really bad for doing this. Da, 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 da. And then I say, it's fine. You forgive it and you go on with your lives. Maybe you forge a friendship because of it. Maybe you just move on. That's just how life is. It's just natural.
Okay. You are so good at this. Oh my god.
Well, it's easy to do it from an outside standpoint. Believe me, in person, I'm a mess.
I mean, actually, my problem is in person, I'm no, I can't say always, but in a specific situation that's been on my mind, in person, I've been very composed, which is, I think, very confusing. Because I had an ex-boyfriend point out to me once that whenever I'm really angry, I start smiling and laughing, which might sound fucking terrifying. And after he pointed it out, I was like, oh my god, that's gotta be freaky. Like, is that scary for you to see? I'm so sorry. And his response was, no, I think it's kind of funny. But I
Shiloh
think
does that too.
Thank God. Oh,
she does that. It's
Thank God.
So funny. She'll smile. She'll just like smile wide-eyed with her fucking giant blue eyes. She'll just smile.
Yeah.
That, or like she'll just like, you've seen Shiloh pissed off.
I've made Shiloh pissed off. Sure.
Have you ever seen? Okay, this is so totally off topic, but remember when like we came to your house and we smoked weed? I smoked weed for the first time at your house.
Yeah.
And like Shiloh smoked weed too. And I sat right by her and I looked over at her and she looked fucking pissed.
Wait, was she mad?
She wasn't mad.
Oh, it's like, holy shit, I never knew she was mad. Okay. She was just high.
I was like, dude, are you okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm having a great time. But she just said it like she was
in the Shiloh, yeah.
But she said it like with the face like she was going to fucking murder somebody. And it was so off-putting. I felt like she was so pissed off about something. I kept asking her. She's like, "Why do you keep asking me if I'm like mad? I'm not mad. Like I'm having a great time here in Holly's house, and we're having a great time here tonight." She's never smoked weed again, but like,
Yeah.
it was the funniest moment of my life. I don't know, really.
I feel like I wasn't present enough during that situation to really be a good friend to help my friends that haven't smoked weed before. And
Right.
I kind of regret it because I want Shiloh to have a healthy relationship with marijuana, and I feel like I fucking blew it. But that's a whole nother subject.
Yeah. I wish she could too, but she's got to work a government job, and until the government's okay with it, then she can't really touch it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's completely respectable. I feel like I fucking blew it for her, you know? I feel like that was on me, but we'll talk about it another time. So, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, by the way, remember when that fucking dude like came over to your house and he just said, "Hey, is it all right if I do a line of cocaine?"
This is gonna sound so sad, but no, I don't fucking remember. Oh my god.
He was on like the OCU wrestling team, and he was like really into me, and like he came over one time, and he had coke.
Oh, I do remember! Holy shit! I was like, wow, I am pathetic for not remembering that. Oh my god.
And he just did coke in front of us,
and none of us did it with him. We just watched.
I just sat there horrified. I'm like, yeah,
well,
go for it. And you were just like, oh, fuck yeah, go for it.
I need to be a little less liberal with my... Okay. Well, let's move on to apologies. So...
Hold up. I need to pee real quick, actually.
Actually, me too, thank God. Okay, should we pause, or what are we going to do?
Keep recording. Just a pee break.
Pee break! Should we make, like, a sound to say we're coming back in, or like a... or...
Yeah, I'll do a thing.
Okay.
Are you there?
Oh, yeah. Did you say I'll do a thing? Like, right...
No, I'll do it in post.
Oh, I thought you meant, like, right now we'll make a sound. And I was like,
no.
Hey.
We're back.
All right, we back.
And we're back, yeah.
Okay, so, KW, I have a question.
Sure, and I have an answer.
Yes, please. So, this is another personal thing for me, and this is actually not pertaining to my current situation, but I have a tendency to get really triggered whenever people apologize to me. And I don't mean like, I'm sorry that I hit your car with a bat, but that was a bad example. Like, I'm sorry that I accidentally spilled wine on your purse or something. That's not what I mean. Like, whenever a person hurts me and then they apologize, like emotionally or physically, and then they apologize, it just triggers me and it makes me more upset than before they apologized, which I realize is bizarre to a lot of people. So basically, in my head, like, people shouldn't have to apologize because they should do the right thing in the first place, but I'm also a person that has had to apologize a million times for doing things that weren't right, you know? So it's definitely a hypocritical feeling that I have, but...
It's a feeling. It's a valid feeling.
Yeah. I mean, I can honestly say I feel like a hypocrite saying that because, I mean, like, an example with you, I was a huge bitch. Or, actually, I wouldn't say a huge bitch. I was just, like, angry whenever, and it wasn't your fault or fucking Shiloh's fault. I was just angry whenever we didn't get to go see, this is so stupid, a fucking show at...
the UCB, I remember that.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, and I was so mad, but I wasn't mad at you guys or anything. I honestly can't remember if I ever apologized to you or Shiloh for just shutting down and being silent for probably, like 30 fucking minutes?
Yeah, you did. We went over to,
we did.
Underground. We went over to I forgot what the bar name was, but...
the Jones.
The Jones. Oh, yeah, I fucking love the Jones. I want to go back.
Same.
That was fucking awesome.
But when I'm not being a bitch...
No, yeah, you weren't being a bitch. You were just disappointed because, like, you only had a certain amount of time here and you wanted to see it. But, like,
yeah, but I feel like I projected my disappointment onto you guys when you didn't deserve it. But that's a situation, at least from my point of view, where I don't think I should have apologized because I shouldn't have done it in the first place. You know what I mean? Like, I shouldn't have just shut down and gone silent on you guys, which, like, I mean, I didn't, like, yell at you guys or, like, cuss you out or do anything like that, but, like, you can feel the tension when someone shuts down, right? And you are more than allowed to, yeah. And so that's something that, like, I shouldn't have reacted in that way. And then, like, to the standards I hold other people, if somebody had done that to me, I would have been upset because I've been like, you shut down and you shouldn't have, you know, actually, no. I don't know where I'm going with this. I just think that, like, sometimes apologies shouldn't happen because the behavior shouldn't have happened in the first place. And that was my example of a time that I think I was behaving unacceptably and shouldn't have apologized or shouldn't have had to apologize because I shouldn't have done it in the first place, you know? And do you get where I'm going with that, or should I explain a little bit further?
No, I understand where you're coming from.
Okay.
I do have a couple things to say though.
Go ahead. Yeah.
You are allowed to have emotions. Your emotions are valid, and that you're a human being, and if you didn't have reactions, I would be worried. If you, like, you honestly, it showed how much you cared about going to that UCB show, and I felt like so bad that we couldn't do it. And I was like offering suggestions as to something else that we could do, but you were just like, man, no, I just don't feel like it. Do you remember, like, the last time we recorded? Like, you remember how I got?
You were
like,
yeah, but that I guess I'm a lot better at forgiving people that aren't me. I guess.
Right.
You know, like, whenever you're upset or Shiloh's upset or whatever, I'm like, I get it, but this is really deviating from the topic, but I get really ashamed of myself whenever I behave or react in a way that I personally don't think is acceptable. Like, and I get that I was disappointed in everything, but I felt like that was unacceptable. I think I was throwing a little tantrum. I was throwing a tantrum inside my brain. To be fair, it wasn't out loud.
Yeah.
Because I didn't get what I wanted, you know? But for some reason, whenever my friends do it, I can understand it better. So that is a major deviation.
Yeah, well, it's from an outside perspective, and it's easier to be like, okay, I understand you really wanted to see this and you didn't, and you're disappointed. In your own mind, you're going to see yourself like everything negative that you do is going to be embarrassing. Something that, like, you didn't, your ideal self, you're deviating from your ideal self. Yeah. And that's your number one priority is not to, excuse me. Sorry, drinking sparkling water and
Beautiful.
wine.
No, continue.
You hold yourself to this identity of, like, I don't know, maybe you have this, like, image of yourself where you're like this really fun, cool, easygoing, loving person, loving, creative,
totally
type.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You have an ideal image to yourself, and then there's these things that you like to hide about yourself, like kind of feelings that you tell yourself that you will never. Well, God damn it!
No, I know exactly where you're going. Like, I lie to myself, or I wouldn't say lie. I just try to hide my vulnerable self, and I don't want to show you guys that.
The vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
And that's like a kind of a vulnerability. And that was like something that you were really looking forward to, and it didn't happen. And you're beating yourself up. But like in the end, you're allowed to feel. You're allowed to feel disappointed. I mean, how you handle your emotions is something that you could work on.
Yeah.
But like feeling those emotions is not something to hide, because if you hide it, that is not good.
I think that's exactly what the problem was, is that...
Yeah. And
once again, I'm sorry, listeners, this is a random deviation, maybe. Actually, no, it's not, because this is a friendship episode, so fuck it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that's exactly why I've been so upset with myself about it, because I definitely never told you or Shiloh, but I'm so upset with myself for the way I handled that. Like, I for no reason, I just like oh no, I mean, I was upset because we didn't go to the show I wanted to go to, but like, I'm not 7 years old. Like, I should be able to like accept that that didn't happen and it wasn't their fault at all. And it was honestly kind of my fault because
Yeah.
I wanted to go so bad, but I wasn't like, buy your tickets right the fuck now, you know?
Right. Well, life happens, and as the more experience you get, the better you get at handling your emotions, and that's why kids act the way they do, and why adults act the way they do.
Yeah.
So,
So,
it's just I feel like I feel like you shouldn't devalidate yourself for feeling like that because like it's something that you look forward to. We all got to do like stuff that we kept. Well, I wanted to go to a theme park.
I
I mean,
know,
I
and
was
we
kind
didn't
of
get to.
yeah, we didn't get to, and I was kind of bummed out about that. But I understood shit's expensive,
We,
and we
we,
didn't have the budget for it.
yeah, we didn't get to do whatever Shiloh wanted to do, did we? I really don't think we did.
I I'm not even sure, but like you, it's more of a thing of like just putting it aside, accepting your emotions, being like, okay, I'm disappointed, but let's look at the bigger picture here. I'm in LA with my friends, and I want to have fun.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Took me about an
it's
hour.
these yeah, it took you, but you did it, and it took you about an hour, but you did it. It's just practice makes perfect, and it's easier said than done, and it's definitely a process. But like,
Yeah,
you shouldn't discredit yourself for feeling those emotions because if you hid those emotions, building them up inside of you, you end up exploding, and that's not good.
yeah. See, my issue is definitely, I'm not as, when I was younger I was very explosive, but now I tend to just, like you've seen, I've shut the fuck down. Like,
Yeah.
if I'm upset about something, I can't speak. I like, I'm just gone. And
Hmm.
so that might be why apologies are kind of triggering to me. Like, I I wouldn't say all apologies, of course. Like, I'm sorry that I missed our lunch date. That doesn't trigger me, but it's like, I'm sorry that I pursued the guy you were trying to date or something. That is triggering to me because in my head, that shouldn't have happened in the first place, you know? And so, is my question to you, I guess, is what's an acceptable apology? Is there such thing as an unacceptable apology? Is there an amount of apologies it takes that would end a friendship, or are the apologies proof that people are trying to maintain their friendship? Do you?
I think apologies are can come in many factors. They can be used as a get out of jail free card. If you say it, you'll get off the hook and you won't feel guilty anymore. Now, um, if you genuinely feel and you've thought about what you've done and like you genuinely feel like I owe this person an apology and I have to sit down with them and I have to say this and I really want them to know that I did something wrong to them. I did wrong to them and I want to apologize for it. And you know what? I don't even care if they accept my apology or not. Um, because in the end, forgiveness is not for the person who's apologizing. Forgiveness is for yourself.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I feel maybe your problem could lie in you're not ready to forgive,
yeah.
I
Maybe,
guess.
maybe. No, actually, no one's ever said that to me before, and I really appreciate you saying that. I really do.
And I'm not trying to attack you
No,
because
no,
I,
no,
I
no,
kind
no.
of go
I'm
through the same
like,
thing.
that was genuine. I really appreciate you saying that because I'm sorry this is such a personal podcast, everybody, but I was sitting by myself last night thinking about it. I was like, am I upset with my friend because of what they did, or am I more upset with myself because I I can't even articulate it now, of course, but
No, it's
I am
hard.
Yeah,
Emotions are hard.
emotions are so fucking hard, and that's what makes this topic so hard, because it's, to me at least, it's like, I typically don't make friendships with people that I don't love. And I know that sounds,
Mm.
I don't know if that sounds clingy or weird, but like I typically am not interested in pursuing a friendship or anything with somebody I don't, one, respect, and two, like, that I don't already care for, you know? And I guess my main issue is like I'm upset with myself for not articulating to this friend about what my boundaries were before she crossed a few. And it's like I'm heartbroken over losing a friendship, but I kind of feel like it's my own fault. And so I'm angry, but I'm probably angry at myself. I don't know. I've always had a bit of an issue understanding my own emotions. And yeah.
Well, I, you can boil it down. Emotions bubble to something that's not really easy to understand. But if you boil it down to its like core formation as to what the issue actually is, she hurt you. It seems like you're not ready to forgive her yet.
No,
And if she were to apologize, um,
she has.
it'd just be like, I'm sorry, I'm just not ready to forgive you right now.
Yeah.
It's what you did really hurt me, and I just need some time to kind of forgive and or maybe come to a place to forgive. And I don't feel like I'm in that place right now. And if
Yeah.
she doesn't understand that, then well, that's that. And life's just like that. We can't plan life. And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to blow up your ideology
No, go ahead.
of like apologies are bullshit because you shouldn't have done it in the first place. You can't predict what you will do.
Yeah.
You can kind of you can kind of have reflexes, and you can have split second decision making, and there are going to be times where it's volatile and you make the wrong decision. And we've all made wrong decisions in life. Everyone's made a wrong decision in life. And sometimes there are things that are just like unforgivable and that just end friendships, but the that's just the natural way that life goes, I feel. And
Yeah.
like apologies are ways for people to there's sort of like a contract of understanding that like I've done wrong to you and I apologize. And it's up to you to forgive, not for them, but for yourself.
Hmm.
And I think that's the most important thing to take away here. And I feel like maybe that's like the issue that you have.
Yeah, I would honestly, I agree with you. Yeah.
Mm.
And you're right. I'm not really in a place to forgive yet. You know, you're really good at this. Oh my god.
Well, let me here. I posed this to you a couple of weeks ago whenever you were talking about the YouTuber that I dated. Like I still hold anger to him. Like if he were to like come up to me and apologize for ghosting me and for um just being like a if he came back in my life and he's like wanting to be a friend again, I, I don't know what I would do. I would be angry. I'd be angry because like
He
I
hurt you.
felt like yeah, I felt hurt. I felt genuinely hurt, and his like grinning, bowing out
Yeah.
bullshit
Tip of the hat to yourself.
tip of the hat way of saying I don't ever want to see you again or have contact with you. I don't even think you're good enough to be friends with. Like that's what I you can word it as like pleasant as you want to. That's the feeling that I got and it hurt.
Yeah.
And I still don't know how to deal with those emotions and I still hold I'm trying to let go. I'm letting go cuz hell, he's bigger than he socially, he's bigger than me. He probably he's moved on. Probably he's moving bigger, better things. I'm gonna move on to my own things, and life has a way of having people come back around, and maybe that'll happen, and maybe I can forgive him one day. But like,
Yeah.
that really hurt me. So I can kind of understand where you're coming from.
This has been kind of a heavy episode.
Yeah. And this doesn't really deal a lot with online relationships,
Well,
to be honest, but it's important. It is important.
To me, I guess it came... how I tied it into online relationships is, you know the story. It came from online dating, this whole silly thing, but I guess our listeners don't.
Okay.
But, you know, I think it can pertain because, you know, our relationships in our actual life every day that have nothing to do with online really do affect our online relationships. At least maybe that's my opinion. I don't know if you disagree. But I think, you know, it's like building a foundation for a house. Like, you have to be healthy and or you don't have to be, but it would be really beneficial to be happy and healthy with the relationships in your life before you start online dating, because I am 150,000% really bad at projection. I don't know if you do this, but especially when I'm online, for some reason, like I project a lot. Like, I see somebody that said or did something that is in my no boundaries, and I project that they're a shitty person because of this person from my past onto this internet person that I've never met, and that is trying to sum themselves up in a bio and, like, 6 pictures of themselves. And, like, so I could tie it back to online dating, but it's tenuous at best, you know?
Well, in the end, people aren't just bios and 6 pictures of themselves. There are a lot more. And I feel like this podcast, we should understand that. And this is why, like, online dating is just so difficult, because relationships are so tenuous, and in the modern age, we're trying to boil it down to a
bio and 6 pictures. Yeah.
Bio 6 pictures, let's meet and fuck.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, I think your personal relationships in your everyday human physical life really do bleed into your online dating persona. And I mean, there's a good chance I'm just projecting a lot of this because clearly, listeners, I've been a little hurt recently. But, you know, maybe, you know, we're a sex and dating podcast, but I think the problem, like, with that comes all of your other relationships and your love and how you love yourself and everything. So maybe we could call this, like, Segway Thursdays, or I don't know, just kind of like random Thursdays.
It's a Christmas special.
It's a Christmas special. You're welcome. So
the real gift is loving yourself.
Truly, though, truly. And girl, guy, non-binary, whoever the fuck is listening, I don't know how to do it, so please send tips to You Don't Look Like Your Picture podcast on Instagram, and please tell me how to love myself. Anyways.
Give us advice.
Please. That's all I want. Okay, so let's break this tension a bit. So I have boundary breaker scenarios. You want to try some out? You tell me if they break your boundary or not. So, KW, are you interested in hearing or playing a game?
No.
It's called, okay,
Boundary
Breakers. No, I don't want to play. Okay. It's called Boundary Breakers.
Okay.
And feel free to throw some back at me if any pop into your head.
Okay.
Your best friend sleeps with your ex-boyfriend without consulting with you.
Yeah, that's... Well... What is Shiloh? It's kind of hard, because... all the people I slept with are gay, so, like... first off, I'd ask how. Like, how did you do that?
It's okay. say you have a male best friend
Okay.
that also dates men,
Okay.
and he slept with your ex,
And he didn't tell me about it.
and he didn't tell you about it.
Yeah, no, I'd kind of just be like, hey, all right. Well, it depends on the, like, if it was a really big relationship.
Say it's the big X. It's the big
X. Yeah. Well, he knew. He knows.
Boundary breaker.
Yeah, that's a boundary breaker. If he knows, like, how personal that relationship was to me and, like, how much history we had, and he goes and he just does that, and, like, well, I'd forgive him I'd probably forgive him after time, but, like,
It's a boundary breaker.
Yeah.
At first.
you should have consulted me and been like, hey, I'm thinking about me and, like, your ex is talking. I want to know how you feel about it, and it would go from there. Maybe I'd be okay with it, maybe I wouldn't. But in the end, it's not up to me to decide. It's they're adults, they're consenting adults, but, like, still a boundary breaker.
So, another boundary breaker question.
Mm-hmm.
You show your friend work that you've done, and they laugh and say ew. Boundary breaker or no?
Oh boy.
Jesus, sorry. Did you hear my dog bark?
Yes.
Holy shit, Bella, that scared me! Oh my god!
I think
Sorry.
that's the answer. Yeah, Bella was right.
Boundary breaker?
That's pretty shitty. You don't.
That actually happened to me.
No,
Okay.
you shouldn't. You need to be more professional about, like, if your friend is coming. I don't know. Has Shiloh ever shown me a picture that I was just like fucking.
Ew.
No, okay, no, don't say ill. Like,
Yeah.
No, don't do that. Shiloh has shown me photography where, like, I don't think I've laughed necessarily,
But it wasn't your number one.
But I didn't really, like, agree with it. I gave her pointers and I gave her, like, criticism. And
But you critiqued
you critiqued her.
Yeah.
You take it
It's
seriously.
different than, ha! Ew!
Like you
It's
take it seriously. And even, like, the shitty drawings that I've done before and I showed Shiloh, she's like, well, I don't necessarily get it. Can you tell me
Fuck it.
can you tell me what you were trying to go for? But I on the stuff that's, like, intentionally supposed to be bad, of course. No, that's, like, you're joking around. You get the vibe. Like, you read a room. Read a room, read a situation. That's what I would say.
So, you go on a couple dates, right?
Mhm.
With someone and you're into them, but the relationship fades off. You just kind of stop talking. And then your friend shows you that they have been dating them after the relationship faded off. Let's give it, like, what's a reasonable amount of time? I feel like that can all happen in a month. So let's say in a month, you went on a couple dates, you were into them, it fades off, and then your friend started dating them. Is that a boundary breaker or no?
I think I'd be bummed, but, like, if they're more compatible than me and that person, I don't really have a lot of emotional ties, I guess. Besides the fact that, like, you basically got rejected, which that sucks.
Yeah. But should your friend, who knew you were dating this person, pursue them? I guess.
Well, it depends on communication. If this person was like, "Hey, I've been talking to the person that you, like, have been dating, and I just want to let you know, and I wanted to know what you think," and go.
Let's say that didn't happen.
No, if that didn't happen, then it's very on the line. You're walking the line there, but, like, I'd kind of be like, "Hey, all right, well, if you guys can make it work, I guess I couldn't." I might be a little bit mad for maybe an hour or so, but, like, I get over it.
Okay. So let's say, your next boundary breaking scenario is your friend gets really, really intoxicated and sleeps with your current romantic partner. Boundary breaker?
That is a very tricky situation. Is your romantic partner also intoxicated?
let's say yes. Yeah, let's do a yes.
Okay, so if they're both intoxicated, sit down, talk like adults about it. Just be like, it happened.
So let's stir the pot a little bit. So let's say that your friend and your romantic partner made these plans in advance without you knowing, and they got intoxicated and slept together, but their plan the whole time was to hang out without you. Also, this is not personal. I feel like I should say that. This is just, I'm just making this up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, boundary breaker. And well, you don't need to be you don't need a GPS on your partner, but like, first off, why would y'all be hanging out without me? like what's the deal?
What if this friend had a crush on said romantic partner, and that was their way of doing it?
Okay, that's totally not cool.
Boundary?
That's not a friend. That's somebody who's using. That's somebody.
I didn't write down any good boundary breakers, so I'm like pulling these out of my brain. Okay, so say you're with like your friend and your partner, and you're out, and your friend mentions a former partner that maybe when you and current partner had first started dating, weren't exclusive. Friend brings up when you slept with a different person when you were starting to date current partner. That's really specific.
right.
And yeah, okay.
No, I mean, first off, I'd probably communicate that firsthand. I'd probably be like, hey, so now that we're dating, I should tell you that when we weren't exclusive, I was seeing other people, and yeah, they would totally understand, and that's out there. But if that hadn't happened, I would want my partner to kind of understand, like, hey, you probably should have told me that you did this while we weren't mutually dating, I guess. I mean, it's not like I owned you while we were not mutually dating, but like, I wish this was something that you told me. And if a friend did that, and not knowing.
No, say they knew.
If they knew.
Let's make them sound bad. Let's say they knew.
Okay, then you're being toxic. Why are you doing this? Are you trying to ruin shit? Are you like trying to start a fight? That's pretty shit.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like this person's trying to start a fight.
Yeah, it sounds like this person's trying to start shit. That ain't cool. That's a boundary breaker.
Okay, I'm gonna make up one more boundary breaker, and then if you have any, you're welcome to ask. If not, then we should give her final tips.
Okay.
And move on. So let's see. Let's say, you and your partner, decided to. Okay, you and your partner decided to have a threesome with your friend, and then your friend starts trying to sleep exclusively with your partner. Boundary breaker? Or sexy?
This is like after the whole event happens, or?
Yeah, you had a consensual threesome, everyone's happy, but then your partner, your like exclusive partner, and your friend that you invited into the threesome start having solo sessions.
Okay, no, that's not cool.
Boundary breaker.
Boundary breaker.
Okay, cool.
Why that wasn't an invitation to do this forever.
Yeah, it was a one-time.
Oh, the one-time deal.
Fight. Okay. So, do you have any boundary breakers for me?
I don't know. You've given me like some pretty like shitty like.
Yeah, those came from my brain. All I wrote was boundary
person?
breakers. Question.
Who the fuck is this person? Oh my god.
They're horrible.
They're
That's
horrible.
who. Your worst fucking nightmare.
I don't.
Okay, if you don't have any, we can move on.
Yeah, I don't think I have any.
Okay.
Because I'm alone and I never do anything.
Preach. Okay. Let's go into tips. So, when it comes to friends and boundaries and relationships, what are your tips for being the friend / being the person setting boundaries? Do you have any? Do you not? Like...
boundaries come just with experience with a friend. As you go down the line, you kind of understand each other, and you learn more about each other, and you just kind of, you expect things from each other, and like you can't read each other's minds, but like you know what should be done and what shouldn't be done, and if you have a question as to what you think is kind of questionable, talk to them. And communication is key here. If you feel like something that you're doing is questionable, you need to talk to your person, to your friend.
No, to your person. Yeah.
This in all, it's a relationship, and a relationship is based on communication and trust. And that can't happen if you just assume things. So never assume. I don't think.
Great advice. Great advice. I completely agree with you. Even honestly, sometimes like people's boundaries are different than each other's. So I know for a fact that I've done things that I didn't realize would be a boundary breaker to people, and people have done things that they didn't realize would be a boundary breaker to me. So it's definitely communication. Communicate and discuss with each other, like, you know, is it okay with you if I do this? I think I feel statements help a lot in these kind of situations.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And for those who do not know, which I don't know if you're out there, but I feel statements are like, I feel like you, or I feel disrespected, I feel hurt, I feel blah. It's not so much like
you're clearly
like you did this, you did that.
You're clearly communicating your emotion and how you feel based on what happened.
Exactly.
You are boiling it down. You're not trying to like fucking Real Housewives of Beverly Hills this. You're boiling it down to A and B happened. I feel this way about it. What are we going to do?
Yes, exactly. And if you don't I feel statement people, then you can't expect them to understand how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's really easy to place blame on other people or to be upset with other people, but it's a lot harder to really understand why you're upset and la-di-da.
Right.
So I think you and I have pretty much the same set of tips.
Yeah.
So
I want to say this before though,
please,
because I know you still kind of struggle with this in forgiving and forgiveness, and it's just something that is more for yourself in the long run than actually for the other person, and you just really need to be able to understand, to really reflect on that, because the hate that you hold, or like the negative emotions that you hold towards somebody that just like linger in your body, end up kind of
making you sick.
make you sick. It poisons you. It poisons your mind. You lay in bed at night and you think about it over and over and over again. And that the forgiveness is medicine. Just, it takes time to forgive. It's not something that you should automatically do. It's just like, oh yeah, forgiveness, I'll just do that right now. No, it's something you kind of have to just kind of reflect on, and then like you'll come to a point where you'll be like, all right, I think I'm ready to take to forgive this person and move on. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah, that's good advice. It really is. This actually ended up being way different than I thought it was. Like when I was writing this out in my head, I was like, this is going to be a scathing episode about shitty friends.
Expose her.
Expose. But now at the end, I'm like, it's more about self-reflection, self-love, and respect, boundaries, and forgiveness. You're right. Like, forgiveness really is about you, not so much them. And
my Christmas present to you, and for people who don't celebrate Christmas, my holiday gift to you. Hello?
Please. Yes. Sorry.
Okay, I thought you were like offended, like, Chris, you assume I'm Christian?
How dare you? No, I dropped my head.
Oh.
Okay, sorry. Good.
Okay. No, I was just saying that's my holiday gift to you, and I want to wish everybody who's listening.
Wait, tell me again what this holiday gift is, because that's when I drop my.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to repeat the entire 2-hour and 40-minute podcast to you?
No, I guess I could just listen to the podcast and find out what the gift is.
This entire thing is my gift to you and my gift to everyone who's listening. I want to wish everybody out there a happy holiday and a safe new year. We're going to be taking a break for Christmas. I think we should be back trying to get things resituated just because of like technical difficulties.
Yep.
Not this Sunday, but the next coming Sunday, I guess the 30th. That'll be a good day to record.
Oh my god, perfect, because I'll be fucking in LA.
You're gonna be in LA. We'll do a live episode.
Yeah! All three of us together in one apartment.
In separate rooms.
In separate rooms. I'm excited.
Yep. All right.
Yep. So you can find us on Instagram at You Don't Look Like Your Podcast.
You did it. You
Shit! It's You Don't Look Like Your Picture, right? That's it?
We don't look like your podcast.
And you can find us on Instagram at YDLLYP_podcast.
Yep, and you can find our episodes on our YouTube. It's more... Oh, fuck.
And his
on my YouTube. And if you're looking for our episodes on YouTube, we are on YouTube on my channel, Coda White. And you can find me at bit.ly. Coda White YouTube. That's KODAWHYTEYOUTUBE. And you can watch my videos about me complaining about my life. Because that's fun entertainment.
That's what we do here.
That's what we do here. Well, folks, that's going to be it for us. We just want to remind you all to have a happy holiday and, well, just one holiday. Only one. You're only allowed one. And to have a safe and happy New Year's. We'll see you then. I'm KW Simpson.
And I'm Holly Lowe.
And we just want to remind you that it's important to love your friends, but most of all, make sure to love yourself. And as always, stop sending dick pics!
Goodbye, everybody.